Three scholars.
I
I'm
apologize for
joined
that.
with my fellow scholars and group members, Paola R., Paola B., Carrie, Caitlin, Estrella, and myself. And right now, I will pass it on to Paola with her problem.
So, our problem is that some scholars don't have access to transportation, whether that be because they are unable to take the trolley/bus or their parents can't take them to school due to their work schedule. This results in the kids having constant tardiness or them just not arriving at school in general, which ultimately causes their attendance to turn chronic. Additionally, because kids are arriving late or not getting here, their grades begin to lower due to the fact that they're constantly missing out on class time. And now I pass it on to Brandon.
Okay, our side effects. Transportation for students is very rocky. There's many side effects and problems resolving around it. Public transportation can be very unreliable, and many things could happen on the way to school, whether it's safety or getting there on time. Many students have to rely on busy parents. This causes students to miss school more often, arrive late, affecting their learning. And yeah, pass it on to Paola.
How can being late affect a scholar's learning? Studies show that being late has a negative impact on students' ability to learn. This results in the student missing instruction time, collaborative learning activities, and forming bad habits when it comes to punctuality, which can also affect them in the future. Teachers can also become frustrated with a student arriving late as it can disrupt others arriving late to school, which can also cause stress for the student and can affect their learning negatively. And now I pass it to Paolo Reggie.
Okay, reliable transport is very important to the daily lives of high school students. And as we all know, education is also a vital need for success. 45% of Americans have no access to public transportation, and 8.7% of US households were without vehicles in 2016. Chronic absences affects the scholars' learning and students that have to and students that have unreliable transportations are 4 times more likely to be absent.
We then came up with all the possible solutions that could help this problem. We lowered our ideas to the most realistic ones. We considered providing bus passes not only for those who can't afford it, but the students that are also chronically tardy. We also considered having online schools an option for those who would not be able to make it. The idea we went with was having E3 school buses.
So our final prototype is a bus specifically for our school. We made a drawing bus. We made a digital one with some adjustments. This bus would be ran by volunteers of parents or LFs, so we know someone trustworthy is doing their job correctly. And buses are usually expensive, so the school would only be able to afford a few, and those would go to low-income families and who can't afford transportation, and kids who might be constantly late.
Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have, if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's okay for everybody to clap too, although most people will be muted.
Okay, do I stop sharing it?
Icons. I forget I have icons too.
Do I stop sharing it, Ms. Sanders?
Leave it up for now
Okay.
because that'll give us a good backdrop here. All right, questions from our audience. So I have a couple questions, and please, if you have a question, you can either do the hand thing, it's an easy notification for me, or do the thumbs up. What questions do you have? Or I don't know about that brow. Okay. So if I could ask, go ahead, Kaden, E3 scholar. Oh, gotcha.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned that the cost of buses could be prohibitive. What would the cost of a bus actually look like? And I'd also like to say that you guys did a very good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So they range from a couple $1,000s to just like, I don't know. Really depends on the bus, I guess, and how big it is.
Basically the size of the bus as well as the so a little bus particularly costs like around 1,000, and a bigger bus costs around like 2,000 to 5,000. It depends on how big you want the size. So if you were to think like, if it was just for the residents, then of course it'd be probably like a smaller bus. But if it was to bring like a lot of E3 scholars, then of course it would be more costly. So.
All right.
Great job. Good question. Good question. It's always about the money. Always like to, are there any other questions before I just ask mine? Go ahead, Kimberly. Oh, got to get used to this control thing.
So I guess for starters, you guys did a really good job. And so my question would be, was on the slide, I saw that parents, volunteers, would they be driving the bus? Is that what you guys meant by that?
Yes.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, sorry, because I was going to say, if so, wouldn't that require a special type of permit from the parents to be able to do so?
Yes. So basically, the parent would have to go through like fingerprinting as well as a background check before it was. We weren't meaning like the bus driving. We were more meaning on like carpool kind of thing. So you know, if the student lives close by to the E3 school, we were thinking maybe instead of a bus, because we know that it costs a lot of money, some of the parents could volunteer into taking like carpool the students. So
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Clarifies. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Great question. Great question, Kimberly. All right. And lastly, could you tell us about some of the challenges that you faced in putting together the project, and even maybe some of the obstacles you found, as in, is this a viable solution?
I honestly do think it's a viable solution, because not only does it help the student not be able to like miss any instruction time, but it also helps the student gain like collaborative learning. For example, like, you know how some activities, for example, your class, we have collaborative learning, like where we get to meet peers and we get to, you know, get in the feel of that, in a way, like scholarly feel. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with us being able to not arrive school late and causing distractions for those students, we don't miss on that time, and we don't disrupt the class, we don't get stressed. And I know, as a person who like has arrived late once, I was super stressed, and honestly, you don't want the student to feel that way. So I definitely agree with making sure the student always feels safe and like happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Paula. Australia, did I see you about to say something and I didn't get there fast enough? No? Oh, okay. Well, thank you. If everybody would open their chat now. So what I'm doing is pasting that feedback form. Sorry, Kimberly, I missed you when you said that. So here we are. So now the link is available for your feedback form. We might not want the feedback form to be completed by the actual group members. We'll try to minimize the bias a little bit, because if it were my group, I'd probably say, I'm perfect. I'm just amazing. It could be true. It's probably going to be true, but you know, just saying. All right. So the feedback form is there. I'm sure that we're intended to get a lot of feedback from some of the outside community as well as some of our guests. And so I hope that the issue is not them not being able to join, but I'm pretty sure I'll hear about that later either way. In the meantime,